Welcome. Welcome to the Living in Utah live question and answer session, Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I try to make it every single week. It's just an open forum. You're welcome to ask whatever kind of questions you would like. Whether you want to talk about the state of Utah, talk about the United States. If you're joining us from another country, sometimes people will join us from another country. More than welcome. Whatever, comes to mind. You want to talk about the real estate market, investing, anything, glad to help in any way that I can. And tonight's topic will be, we have homes that are sliding off the mountainside. That's the easiest way to put it. And that's exactly what is happening. It's exactly what's happening. There are homes that are literally, and we just had two of them this weekend that fell down the mountainside. Most of it's due to the moisture, the rainfall that we've got, but there's some questions there's a lot of questions lingering. What the real problem is, this particular area, and I've seen homes slide in a variety of cities. So it's not just one city. So I'm not just picking on one area. Over the years, I can pinpoint many, many cities. And I think there's a common denominator, but we'll see how that goes. But these homes were built literally on the mountain, on the edge. So they are the homes that have the nice views. You can see north, south, beautiful views. Typically with a very high price tag, you're looking at $1 million home. I was actually in this neighborhood where the homes collapsed about a year and a half, 2 years ago with some people. We were looking at this exact same neighborhood. We were not looking at any of the homes that were been affected. It was actually a street inwards. But the question that we had at the time, or the question I brought up with the people that I was showing these homes, and they might even be watching tonight, or they'll watch the rerun. My question to them was, if they're considering purchasing a home there, the way I could see the retaining walls, I said, if those homes ever slide and end up with a cracked foundation, I don't think I ever anticipated them just falling off the mountain. Not at all. But I was worried that, if there was some slippage and you end up with a cracked foundation, cracked walls, it would put a black mark on the whole neighborhood. It would be very hard to sell a home in a neighborhood that people would know, oh, such and such homes have problems. So it would magnify to the other homes. That was my opinion. So the people decided not to purchase anything there. But we did look at this particular retaining wall. And my joke at the time was, because they build them with blocks going up, and then they bring in backfill material, and they backfill it all, and they build the home on it. And my question at the time was, to me, it didn't look, I've seen these walls before, so not just in this area, but I always wonder, would that wall just blow out sometime? And that was my question. And the people that I was with agreed with me and said, yeah, it kind of looks scary. I have noticed that the neighborhoods that have had the slides, and this is my unprofessional, I'm not an engineer. When I was a kid, I played with Lego blocks, so I know a little about blocks. Little joke there. What I have noticed, the way they build these, like I say, they build the wall out of blocks all the way up, and they backfill the material in. And my question has always been, because then you're building a home on it, and you have all this weight pushing down. Will that retaining wall hold? And where I have seen the slides, areas that I have seen the slides, I have noticed that they have built a wall, backfilled it with material, and then built homes. So made me think, Made me think. I've been thinking about it for the last week. How could it be done different? And we have a new freeway going in, or an extension on a freeway, I should say. It's called Legacy Parkway. Lots of bridges going up. And then all of a sudden, I had a thought. So when they first started this project, they drove for the bridges. The first thing they tackled was the bridge design and the bridge construction. They drove pylons into the ground and they let them sit for a certain period of time to see if they would drop, sink. So my question has been, why, when we're building retaining walls and we're building homes above them, why are we not engineering something that has like pylons driven down into the ground as support? Seems to hold bridges. So you can build a bridge on top of these pylons and they seem to last. So that's my question. It's a sad situation. There's a lot of blame going on right now. And this is very similar how it's happened in other neighborhoods. Who's at fault? Is it the city? Is it the engineering department, the building inspectors? Is it the engineer who did the plans for the retaining wall? Is it the home builder? There's a lot of blame. There are people right now without homes. I can tell you that. So not a great situation if you are involved. Looking to buy between Layton and Logan. Yeah, that's kind of a short area right there. Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I thought it said Layton and Lagoon. We have Lagoon Amusement Park there, and it's just south of Layton. So you've got Layton, Kaysville, and Lagoon. Okay, Layton and Logan, Utah. Good. That is a large area. What questions do you have about the areas? I love both areas. So I can tell you pros and cons, real quick pros and cons. Let you familiar. The nice thing with Layton is you are centrally located. A lot of people like Layton. You can drive north to Ogden. You can drive south to Salt Lake City. If you need to go to so if you want to dining, entertainment, college football, professional basketball, et cetera, you're right down the road. You can take your car. You can take mass transit. You can take the rail line in. If you do work in Salt Lake City or the Ogden area, you can take the rail line if you'd like to work also. And it gives you another option. You're real quick to the airport, probably 30 minutes in the car. It's easy shot to the airport. So that's kind of the pros and cons, or pros about Layton. Layton is, as far as like cons go, depending on where you're at in Layton, you will hear, because you have the military base located in Layton, just the north end of Layton. So if you were under the flight path, so they seem to take off. This is my observation, and I'm no pilot out of Hill Air Force Base or anything like that, just my observation. Most of the flights that I've seen, when they take off, they go from the north to the south. So they taxi from the north to the south, up over Layton, and they bank to the right. Now, they do go pretty quick. So I think they try to get out of populated areas for safety precautions. So, I mean, as soon as they take off, they're banking them jets right, and they're gone. They're gaining altitude very fast, very quick. So you will have some noise if you are in that flight path. So that would be one of the cons that some people don't like. Other people are like, oh, I love it. It's the sound of freedom. And I personally, I golf in those areas all the time. And when the planes go over, whether they're coming into land or they're taking off, I personally like it. Some people do not like it. So that's a little bit of pros and cons. Also, the Layton area is with all the amenities and everything located around there. That's great. I guess the downside would be a little bit more crowded as opposed to Logan. Logan is a college town. It is definitely an area where when you go to Logan, when I go to Logan, people treat me like I live in Logan, like I'm a local, very friendly. I feel totally safe, don't have to lock my car, et cetera, et cetera. It's more of this country type of feeling in Logan, but don't let the word country put you off by any means. They do have just about everything that you would need. They just opened a brand new Costco up there. They have a Sam's Club. You've got your Walmarts and all your other stores and your Home Depots and your Lowe's and restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. So there is plenty of amenities in that area without having to travel outside of Logan. So Logan, I would say, as far as the cons for Logan would be, if you travel on a regular basis to Ogden, Layton, Salt Lake City, from Logan to Salt Lake City, you're about a 2-hour drive, hour and 45 minutes probably. So it's quite the drive if you are heading into Salt Lake for items, routine, day after day, or a couple times a week, or if you have to catch a flight for work or something. The other thing is that commute during the winter months from Brigham City, if you look on a map, from Brigham City to Logan, that canyon is, when it snows, I do not like to be on that canyon or in that canyon. The snow accumulate. They try to do a great job, but the problem is the plows are going. As they're clearing it, the other side of the road is just packing up 2, 3, 4 inches. And then they get to go the other direction and it's just packing up. So it's a never ending game. You're always chasing the snow. And it gets bad through the canyon. It's only through the canyon. There's times when I've been in Brigham City. There's times that I've been in Logan and you get very little snow. And then you hit that canyon and it just changes, literally changes. I was just in Logan last Friday. I was up there, sunny day in Ogden, Layton, Salt Lake City, even a sunny day in Logan. But I went through the canyon and it started to snow. It was only a little light snow. It didn't accumulate on the road, but here we were in spring, but with the elevation in that canyon, I was actually receiving snow. So definitely unique, because you think you get out of the car and you're going to be cold. And I made it to Logan, got out of the car, and it was a nice day. Didn't need a jacket or anything like that. But so that's a little bit of the pros and cons of the areas. I love both areas personally. So yeah. Shoot any question you have on those two areas. Love the content. Keep it up, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy, and I enjoy the Thursday evenings. It's definitely gives me other things to do. And there's a lot that goes into this. Well, not a lot that goes into this. I don't prepare a whole lot for Thursday evenings in a sense. I just turn my laptop on, off I go. But very rewarding. So there was maybe about a year ago, last summer, when we had problems with the Russia-Ukraine, the whole Russia-Ukraine problem. Somebody was watching my videos. They watched my live events, et cetera, et cetera. Well, they were coming to the United States to get out of Ukraine, and they had some options on where to go to relocate their family, rehome. And one of the options was Utah, and they started watching my videos and stuff like that. And when they moved here, they actually got a hold of me and said, "I appreciate your videos, everything you did. Life has changed." And so I said, well, we have to have a phone call with what's going on, and had a long phone call with these people. And they told me how bad it was in Ukraine and what was going on. And just that little bit of help that I gave them, I mean, I had a smile on my face for weeks They really appreciated everything. And all I did was make some videos and show up on a Thursday night. But it's very rewarding sometimes when you hear stories like that. I mean, I help people buy homes and sell homes and all that. But when you hear a story from somebody who left a war zone, literally a war zone, got family members still there. They don't know what's going to happen with some of their family members. If they're alive, some of them, et cetera, et cetera. It's definitely a life changer. So recommend any towns on the outskirts of Layton? Yeah. So Layton gives you lots of options. Layton. I love, I do like Layton. I do like Kaysville. Syracuse is a great area that's booming. That's just west of Layton. Clinton, a city that I lived in one time. So Clearfield's a great city. Roy's a great city. And you've got just a little bit further north, you've got cities like West Haven and Hooper. A lot of cities to the west where the construction is going further, has been going further to the west. A lot of great areas. And most of those areas, and a lot of people tell me, ask me just like pick one city, and there's not much separating the cities as far as driving time, et cetera, depending on if you have to drive to a job or if you work from home or maybe you're retired. But if you have to drive to a job, that might be one consideration of maybe what city, maybe you have a little bit shorter commute, one or another. If not, then I usually tell people, I would just go with the city that has the home that you fall in love with. I definitely would not choose Layton over Kaysville, and you really like a home in like Kaysville. I would just go with the city that, has the home out of those cities, that has a home, reasonable commute for yourself. Because as far as amenities go, whether you're in Syracuse, you're in Clinton, if you were going to the mall at Layton, I mean, you're only 5 to 10 minutes down the road. If you want to go to Ogden from any of those cities, you're 10 to 15 minutes. You got to go to Salt Lake from any of those cities, you're 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, some of them are just a little bit shorter. You'll cut 5 minutes off your travel. Like if you're in Kaysville, you're a little closer to Salt Lake City. But if you're not traveling to those areas on a daily basis, I don't think it really matters. I think it'd be more important to maybe be in a city where you find the home that, touches your heart. And that's, if you feel that's the place, then, but yeah, they're all interconnected. And quite honestly, like when you're driving through those cities, you can go from Layton or from Kaysville to Layton into Clearfield into Clinton and not even realize that you were in a different city, because they all just one right after the others. Main streets, other streets that go right through. And I couldn't even tell you where some of the cutoff points are, what street separates one city to another. So not without pulling out a map. So. And if you're looking at the Logan area, there's a lot of great areas in Logan. You can go north, you can go south, areas like Hiram and Nibley, and you can go north to like North Logan, Hyde Park. All of them are great areas, very, very nice areas. I find that most of the clients that I work with that are choosing the Logan area seem to prefer the south end, only because not because there's anything wrong with the north, only because it is a easier drive to areas like Ogden. So for a long time there was no Costco. Well, we had no Costco in Logan. So people who wanted to shop at Costco, they preferred to live on the south end of the valley. That way they're right next to the canyon, shorter drive. When you're in North Logan, you have a 20 to 30 minute drive. just to get to probably the south end of the valley to start your commute into areas like Ogden or Salt Lake City. So some people chose the south end of the valley a little quicker. And that's the main reasons. We'll be in late next weekend scouting around. Currently in North Reno. Climate should be similar. Looking for 3-car garage, 2,000 square foot. Yeah, plenty of those homes that would meet that particular area. So one thing that helps people has helped people enormously, because you don't want me driving around in your car, et cetera, et cetera. What I can do is get a hold of me and I can print out a list of some sold properties in whatever city you want. Just give me a price range, whatever city you want. And many people will take that list and just drive the neighborhood. So you get a feel what the neighborhood's like. You cannot get inside the home, but you will have all the details. You'll have the sold price, the square footage, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, everything. And you'll be able to see the outside of the home. You'll be able to see the neighborhood and get a feel for, that particular home. It's not a home on that paper, but you would get a feel for that and say, yeah, that's somewhere I could live, or no way, that does not suit me, et cetera, et cetera. So we can pick out cities and you can just spend your time with your family or whatever at your own leisure, driving these neighborhoods, and it forces you into the neighborhoods. So you start to get familiar with the streets, and you can even, if there's a place that you will be working. So say you noticed a home that really popped out and you thought, this could be a neighborhood for me, and you're working at, say, Northrop Grumman on the base, wherever. You could always then just plug that into your GPS and see how long your commute will be. Maybe drive the same route to give you an idea. And that will get you familiar with the area. And then when you do look at purchasing something, you'll be very familiar because you can keep all those notes. And if something pops up or something, you can refer back to your original notes that you take on what neighborhoods like. I have many, many people that do that. They really like that. They like to be at their own, convenience. Don't need somebody like, me tagging along and trying to work schedules out, and get you in those neighborhoods. You can stop for lunch in a community. You can stop for dinner in a particular area as you're looking at these homes. Get an idea, walk the stores, see what stores are around, and get your phone out and see what, how far away, whatever's important to you. Maybe a Walmart is important to you. Get an idea how far away it is, maybe drive it, etc. Can do that for a lot of areas, and you would have all the data. So there'd be nothing on the form, that printout that you would actually even have to call me for, to say, Mike, because it will give you bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and you get to see like the outside of the home, and then when you get back home or whatever, if there was like one or two of those homes that really caught your eye, I could try to find you inside pictures if you wanted to, but et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, if you're interested in anything like that, just get a hold of me. We'll get a hold of you tomorrow and inquire. Hope to have your intel by next Wednesday and review. Yeah, I'll get it to you this weekend for sure. If you just give me like what you give me, like 3-car garage, rough square footage, name off some cities, and I'll start printing off. Give me a price range, or maybe no price range at all, and I'll just print what's available, and then you can take that particular list, and if there's no price range at all, you're probably going to have maybe 50 to 100 homes, but you could then go through and just pick out maybe 10 or 15 or something, and have a drive around. Yeah, get in a car, have a drive, get used to the communities, see if you have the, and that's the one thing that I don't have the ability to do. I do a lot of homes. I sell a lot of homes remotely. We can find a home, put you on a list, I can videotape it, go every room outside, works great, 20-minute video. But what I cannot do is portray the feeling that someone gets when they get out of a car and they're like, that's my neighborhood. That neighborhood suits me. So it's good that you're doing that, because you will be able to get into these neighborhoods and go, that's my kind of neighborhood, or that's not my kind of neighborhood. That is very hard to portray by me, doing videos. So everybody's feel and insight is a little bit different than maybe mine might be. So, but yeah, I would, if I don't know how much time you have, but some recommendations would be, if we could get you something in some of those cities that I mentioned around Layton. If you have time to take a drive further north, I could print out stuff like north of Ogden, Pleasant View, far west, Brigham City. So that's on the way to Logan. I could print out some stuff for some of the cities up there in the Logan area for you to look at and get into town. Have a look around. So easy to do. Yeah. Won't take me very long to print that out and email it to you, and you have all the data, and you can, and when you're here, if you have questions or whatever, you can just, text me, call me. I'm around, except for Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Okay. Any more questions this evening? Yep. Sure. I can also put you to a lender. By all means, I'll put that in the email too. Probably just shoot me an email with some of the requirements and some of the cities, and then I will put together a PDF for you to print out, and we'll go from there. And I'll give you George's contact information, and then you can look at the list this weekend and everything. Start picking. And if you have questions, or if it's not enough, or we want to change the criteria before you get here, let me know. I can always do that to get you a rough idea. A lot of people really like that, because it gives them, you have all the data. I mean, it's price, square footage, everything. So that, that's something that's doable, not doable, or wasn't what you expected, or maybe you're getting more value for money than what you anticipated. It's yeah, I don't mind providing the data and everything like that and get you going. And yeah, that's, and take a drive by all means. Yeah. So I also have a couple videos on my channel. If you look at my on Hill Air Force Base, the video series on the playlist, there's a video on there on recommendations on places to eat around that local area. I also have a video on Ogden, on places to eat in Ogden. Also, if you were looking for some ideas, a couple videos there, maybe grab a bite to eat off of some of those. So we've watched all your videos. Oh, okay. You've already seen all those. Okay, cool. Yeah. A couple of them are a couple years old, but most of those establishments are still going. So I don't think any place on the list has closed. Not that I recall. Okay. Any more questions this evening before I call it an evening? And I will be back in another week for sure. Thank you. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the questions.